Okay, before I get started into this, I want to let you know that the tech sheet for this unit that I referred to many times in this video is located behind the panel that's directly underneath the control board. There should be two screws directly underneath the knobs that will take that panel off, and it should be taped to the cover right there. We're going to quickly show you how to enter into fault code mode to pull up the most recent fault codes, and how to enter diagnostic mode. So in order to pull up the most recent fault codes, you're going to end up holding down the start button. Hold this down for about 5 to 10 seconds. And then once you've got all the lights lit up, it will start to blink the most recent error code. And this is easy enough to do. I do this on almost every unit we go into. So with that code, we can come down here into our fault code binary format display sheet, and it will tell us what code we're looking at here and what the issue is. So for this particular code, we've got the on light, the wash light, the spin light, and the lid lock, which is at code 27. And so with that, then we take that and go into find out what 27 is. And on our diagram, it says that it's a water accessibility issue, which means that it probably didn't get enough water throughout the cycle. So that's the most recent code. To get to the next most recent, you hit the start button, and that will be our next most recent error code. This unit will save, I think, up to 5 different codes. Once you've reached the end of the code list, it will start flashing all of the lights for you again. So just like that. So once you've reached this point, you've reached all the codes. Okay, that's how to pull up the most recent codes. To exit this, you will need to, you can hit any button other than the start button, and it takes it back into standby mode. Okay, so now we're going to show you how to get into service diagnostic mode, which is also pretty easy on these units. It consists of essentially holding down the start button and rotating the knob 180 degrees. It doesn't matter where you start from, just as long as the knob gets rotated 180 degrees, and then release the start button, and then give it a second, and all the lights will start to flash. You'll hear it. You'll hear the motherboard kind of click around and get ready for that. So once all those are flashing, you know you're now in service mode. So at this point, you can pull out your sheet and you can start to test each individual component within the washer. So by clicking it to the clockwise, or to turning the knob to the right, takes us to the next available component to test. To test the component that you've selected, you just hit start and test it from there. So let's say we're getting a lid switch fault, which could be relatively common. You come in here and have the wash and rinse light selected, and then hit start, and now it is allowing you to test whether the lid is open or closed. So lifting the lid now changes the status light from spin to lid lock. So, and then I close the lid, open the lid, close the lid, back and forth. It's indicating that it does sense that the lid is opening and closing. So anyway, you can go through here and you can test all sorts of different stuff. You've got the drain pump, the inlet valves, all sorts of stuff that is very useful to test. So let's test one more real quick. If we go into, let's test the spin cycle, which means we're going to need the wash, rinse, and lid lock lit up. This will turn on our spin cycle. We hit start, and from here we give it some time to start to spin. It needs to lock the lid first, and then from there, with the front off, you can inspect the belt. You can inspect how well the shock absorbers are working as far as keeping it balanced. You can make sure it's getting up to a sufficient speed. To stop that cycle, hit start again, and you're going to have to wait for the whole unit to slow down and stop before the lid lock will unlock for you again. So that's how you get into test mode and test all the individual components. In order to exit test mode, do the same process as you do to enter it, which is hold down the button and turn it 180 degrees. Then that gets you back into consumer mode.